Hey y'all, it's your girl T Speaks, and I am back with another story time. As you can see in the title, well, as you're gonna be able to see in the title once I get to it, y'all gonna be able to see that your girl is doing another story time. And let me get this straight. And we're gonna be finishing up a series that I started a little bit ago. We're gonna say a little bit ago. We're not gonna say exactly how long, because I procrastinated to get this done. No specific reason. Well, no. I just didn't feel like finishing it. So I'm gonna finish it up today with you guys. Meanwhile, I'm gonna be drinking some amazing water from RJ Street. Yeah. Anyway, happy birthday, RJ. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna give a couple minutes for everybody to, who wants to get in, you can get on in and grab your popcorn because it's gonna be a little messy. As most of my story times are. But hey, I'm just keeping it real. I'm telling y'all real life stories, story times, things that's happened in my crazy, crazy little life. Okay. So we're gonna, like I said, give it a couple more seconds, couple more minutes, and let's go ahead and get this thing going because I got things to do. All right, so I think we're gonna go ahead and start. So we all close up and personal. I don't know why I'm so close. Let me see if I can back up a little bit. Let me see if I can back up because y'all are all in my grill. There we go. Much better, much better. All right, guys. So if you have watched any of my story times before regarding my crazy ex, definitely you want to definitely tune into this. This is the finale. This is the end of the saga. This is going to be, well, it's the end. You got to stay tuned to hear the whole ending. Like I said, if you haven't already started, you definitely gonna want to go back a couple of videos after if you live now, you definitely want to pay attention now, but then definitely go back and check out the previous videos. The first one I think is, oh my god, my ex got kidnapped. The second one I believe is he stole my car, and now this is the grand finale. Like, this is it. Like Michael Jackson, this is it. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in. So the last time I spoke with you guys, last story time was about my ex, my crazy ex from, this is at least, I want to say it's definitely been over 7 years. So I would say maybe 9 to 10 years ago. Like I said, he's crazy. Go back and check to see why he's crazy. It's not just him being crazy. It's a substance abuse issue. We definitely don't want to make fun of that. Definitely, if you know somebody needs to get help, get them the help that they need because hurt people, okay? That's just where I'm going to leave it at with that. So last time, like I said, I spoke with you guys and it was telling you guys about how he stole my vehicle. And the ending was, of course, I got my vehicle back. So we're going to go ahead and jump in from there. Now, I did get my vehicle back. Like I said before, I got a vehicle. Oh, why is there hair in my mouth? What? Y'all ever have these little fuzzy? Yeah, they be all in your mouth. Anyway, so, no, it's still there. There it is. Okay. Anyway, so I got my vehicle back. I got my vehicle repaired because I did have insurance. Yes, for the insurance. Got my vehicle back. It was minor, like I said, damages to the vehicle. So we're going. So basically, at that point, life is just kind of starting to get back on track. I got my vehicle stolen. I got it back. I got it repaired. So I'm just trying to get myself somewhat back to normal. So this is about, I want to say this was later on in the year. I remember it being later on in the year because I remember the weather starting to change a slight bit because, like I said, I am in South Florida. The weather starting to change a little bit, and I just remember being like the holidays coming close by. So it had to be like around November, December, somewhere in that range. So I remember receiving a phone call. I received a phone call. Mind you, my ex was still missing. I got the car back after it was stolen. My ex was still missing. So at that point, I was just like, okay, well, I got my car back. He's no longer kidnapped, but he's still somewhere out in the streets missing. So I get a phone call I remember it was I think it was a Sunday night. I want to say it was a Sunday night. I get a phone call from a random number. Now, typically I don't answer numbers that don't have a caller ID, that don't have, or if it's somebody that's not locked in my phone. But with all this stuff that's going on, I'm like, shoot, let me just answer. Who knows? Who knows? Let's just add to this crazy whirlwind of events. So I answered the phone and there's a young lady on the line. And she's like, hi, can I speak to Tiara? And I'm like, speaking, how can I help you? You know how to put my professional voice on. Not my regular, everyday, this. hi, how are you? How can I help you? Because I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Mind you, like I said, I have talked to police officers, I have talked to detectives, I had talked to all kinds of people. So I just didn't know what to expect. So the young lady's on the phone and she says, well, I wanted to give you a call. By the way, I don't remember what name I named him in the previous videos. I'm gonna say Bob. Bob, hi, I'm Bob's girlfriend. And I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. Mind you, Bob and I had been together at that point about maybe 4 or 5 years. About 4 or 5 years. My memory's a little shaky, guys, because I had COVID twice, and that's one of the side effects. So let me just give you that disclaimer now. So my memory's a little, but I remember this story. Anyway, so she's like, yeah, I'm Bob's girlfriend, and I got your number out of his phone, and I wanted to see, what's going on. And I'm like, oh boy, okay. Well, first of all, I didn't get it really an attitude because, like I said, at that point I was just so done and so drained. I'm like, well, first of all, nice to meet you, but as far as I know, I was his girlfriend. We're no longer together, and I was like, since he's pretended, and I just went on this. I said, since he's pretended to be kidnapped and stole my car, we're no longer together. And so she, like I said, she didn't really give an attitude. There was no real attitude, cattiness going on, but I was just kind of ran that down with her. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. Did you get it back? I'm like, yeah, I got it back, but nobody knows where he's at. So yeah, I'm just waiting on her to tell me. So she's like, yeah, I'm his girlfriend. We've been together for, I want to say, maybe she said maybe 2 or 3 years. She's like, yeah, we've been together for 2 or 3 years, and I'm pregnant now. Yeah. She's like, I'm pregnant now, and I'm trying to remember, guys. She's I'm pregnant now, and he told me that you were one of his friends that he was staying with, just to get while he was getting on his feet. And I'm like, he told you that? Wow. Okay. And she's just going on and on. She's like, yeah, we don't really, his phone, she said she had gotten him a cell phone, and he had an iPhone. So she had a password and everything. So she went through his phone and she saw my number, and she was just wanting to know what was really going on, because he told her I was his friend that he was staying over. I was, letting him stay in my 1-bedroom apartment at the time. And, and I was hitting on him, and I just didn't get it. He had turned me down several times, but I just had not gotten it. I was just he described me as this extremely obese Caucasian lady that's just was nice to me and helped me out, and she just doesn't know or realize I don't want her. That's how he described me to this young lady. This young lady, we'll name her, we will name her, what was her, I'm trying to think what her real name was so I don't mess up and give her fake name together. I remember her name now. Her name in the story is going to be Nene. Okay, Nene. So Nene's like, she's like, yeah, he told me that. I was like, well, no, sweetie, we've been dating. This is what's been going on. I know I've met his dad, and I've been around him for all these years, and da-da-da-da. And so she's like, well, yeah, he must be lying to both of us. She's like, I also had just gotten off the phone with another girl that said that she had been dating him too during the time that we were together. And I was like, oh, really? Now, this is how crazy this is. So she tells me the girl's name, and I'm like, oh yes, I remember her. I remember her, because I remember years prior. I'm trying to think. I think this girl had wrote on his Facebook wall. She had made a post on his Facebook wall. No, that's not what it was. Scratch it. I'm sorry. I had made a post, made posts on his Facebook wall, and she had DM'd me on my Facebook one time, and she was like, what did she say? She said, hi, who are you? So I saw you made a post on Bob's page. I would like to know who you are. And I was like, I'm his girlfriend. Why? Who are you? And she was like, oh, well, I think she said like, oh, we're friends. That's what she said. Yeah, we're friends or whatever. And I was like, okay. And she never responded. I never heard from her. I don't know if she blocked me or what. But the crazy thing about it was the girl looked like me. She had my face. We looked very much alike. Of course, I was the cuter version. No shade. But she she looked like me. It was weird. It was very weird. She looked like me. Anyway, so this, long story short, the girl that I had this previous conversation with was the girl who I was on the phone with, Nene, was telling me, yeah, I just got on the phone with her. I just had a whole conversation with her, and she said she's been dating him for a long time, and give me the rundown. So he was, of course, messing around with her as well. And so she decided, she was like, you know what? Let's do a three-way call. I said, okay, let's do it. Let's get it done. Let's do the three-way call. I don't have anything to do. So we get her on the line. Her name's gonna be Canada because she was from Canada. Apparently long story short about her background, she was in South Florida for school from Canada. She met him and she had been dating him. So we got her on the phone. And of course, like I said, it was never any drama, any cussing out, any catty fighting, drama type situation. It was drama, but it wasn't like anything like that. So that's a good thing. So we got her on the phone and we're all talking and she's like, oh yeah, I remember you. I'm like, oh yeah. She's like, yeah, I remember you. I asked you who you were and you told me who you were. And I just left it at that. Because I had been dating him the whole time that he was, that was in town for school. And during the time that I was going to school, and no, when she was about to leave to go to visit, I think she went back to like visit Canada or whatever on the school break, excuse me, he took her to the airport and she had forgot her necklace, like a nameplate necklace and some shoes, some like tennis shoes or whatever. And the next time she spoke with him, she told him about it, and she was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. They're not there. So she was like, yeah, he stole my necklace, my shoes. And after that, I had stopped talking to him. I really was just dating him just while I was in town. And it wasn't that serious, but I had quite a few encounters with him, with some other girls saying that they were dating him. And I was like, my God, are we on Maury? Are we on Jerry Springer, Maury Povich? I mean, make sense. Yeah, so we were just talking, kind of chit-chatting, and it was weird because it kind of reminded me of that scene in Why Do Fools Fall in Love, when all three of Frankie Lyman's wives were talking about Frankie Lyman, and they all had a different experience with him, or like version of him. Yeah. And the coincidence of it is Frankie Lyman was on heroin too, and so was my ex. Yeah. Real weird. Anyway, so like I said, it was a real quick phone call with her, just a three-way call, and she was just saying, yeah, I don't know, what else to tell you guys other than he stole my stuff. I dated him. I've had kind of encounters with other women that he was dealing with while I was there, and I'm just done with them. I'm moving on with my life. And I was like, yeah, by the way, you look like me. So we had a quick little chuckle about that, because of course, at the end of the day, there was no real reason for us to have any beef. We all knew who the culprit was. So we hung up with her, and then I stayed on the phone with Nene. Nene. Her name's Nene, guys. Keep it cute. Her name is Nene. Woo, I'm not trying to get sued, okay? Nene. So Nene and I was talking, and like I said, Nene had told me, this Nene, which is my ex's other girlfriend. Ex now, but at the time, this is other girlfriend who was pregnant at the time, and she was local, and she was just confused because she was told that I was this older, obese Caucasian lady that was chasing her man. So she was like, yeah, girl, I thought you were this, this, and this. So I ended up sending her pictures, and I was like, she was like, so show me proof that you're not, who you are, that you guys are actually dating. So I showed her all kinds of proof, text messages, pictures. I'm like, what else do you want? What else do you need? You want my fingerprints too? Because she just, for some reason, couldn't make it in her mind that I was a real person. So she was like, so she tells me, oh, I'm glad I know now, because I thought I was gonna have to come to your house and beat your ass for messing with my man. I said, oh, whoa, ma'am, whoa, Nelly, hold on, wait a minute. I'm a real person. I am not this person who he's portraying me to be, and you don't want to come to my house and ever think you have to do anything to me, because baby, I will. Anyway, I had to kind of let her know real quick. Yeah, because I'm not that girl. So So Nene started asking me just random stuff. She was like, well, I know I should have known something was weird because he picked me up one time in this really nice car. And I was like, oh, well, what kind of car was it that he picked you up in? She's like, oh, it was this Altima. I said, oh, really? What color was this Altima? It was gray. Oh, that was my car. Oh, really? She's like, oh, really? I didn't know that. Wow, he just told me that it was his friend's car, his dad's friend's car. I was like, no, that was my car. And I was like, yeah, that was my car. She's like, oh, it was a really nice car. I'm like, yeah, thanks. Be glad I didn't see you guys in it. And she was just talking to me. She was like, well, have you ever been to my house? And I was like, not that I know of, no. So she kind of told me the area that she lived in. And I was like, no, I've never been to your house. And just kind of back and forth with that. And she was like, well, where do you live? And I told her where I live because, baby, I ain't scared. I told her, and she's like, okay, no, I haven't been to your house or anything like that. And I was like, well, when I got my car back, there was a car seat in the car. You know, I was just telling her so many things. There's a car seat in the car, credit cards, debit cards, all kind of stuff. And she was like, yeah, you know, I don't know anything about that. I just wrote it in it once. So I'm like, okay. We're just kind of getting, like, the familiarities, if that makes, is that a word? We're getting the info, the 411, the T on what was going on. So she was just giving me random stories. And I remember this one weekend, he went missing again. And I remember calling his phone. I called about at least 100 times in like 24 hours. Filed a missing persons report because, hey, where you at? You've been missing. Nobody knows where you're at. Come to find out he was in Miami with the weekend with her. When he finally came back, he told me he was in Miami with some friends for the weekend. They just sporadically decided to go. So it was just like all these different, just crazy, random scenarios. The last scenario, and then we're gonna go ahead and move past this because this is just enough. We've had enough. The last scenario was, so she worked at the bank. I mean, Nene had worked at the bank, and she said that, RJ said hi. Get him off of here. He does not need to be, my son does not need to see this story time. Get him off. Watch it when he's not with you. Please. Thank you. So she worked at the bank, and like I told y'all, he had a little bit of a situation. He had an issue, a little substance abuse issue. So what happened was she worked at the bank. He called her, told her that to come outside. She came outside. There was 2 other people in the car. I think it was a girl and a guy, she said, and him. And he was, it's not funny. He was pretending like they were holding him hostage if she didn't bring money out of the bank to get him away from them. Yeah. So he definitely had a way of, you know, faking that his life was at risk. Yeah. So she said that, you know, she told him, heck no, which was what I should have done. Go back to that video. Anyway, she said, you know, heck no, this is my job. This is my livelihood. This is how I feed my child. No. And so they went on with their business on their little crackhead adventures. But yeah, she had gone through the same somewhat situation scenario, just a different form. So moving right along, we were talking, like I said, we were talking back and forth. We talked for a couple hours, and we actually kept in contact in a way. She would just reach out to me, and just, she wasn't sure what she should do with the baby. She did ask me that, and I'm like, girl, what you want me to do? It's not my child. It's not my responsibility. I don't care. We ain't together. I don't care. She's like, are you sure? So I should have known that she was going to go back to him. Whatever. I didn't want him. I ain't want him. I ain't want nothing to do with him. Still don't. So, eventually the phone calls and texts just kind of dwindled because she would just text, like we would check on each other. Hey, are you okay? You know, are you feeling okay? Are you feeling okay today? Yeah, I'm feeling okay today. Are you? No, I'm still sad about him, whatever. So, I actually did try to talk her into getting his behind, getting contact, because she said she did receive a phone call from him randomly, and he was telling her that he was out on the street, and he was, you know, he had no money, he had no food, he was just, you know, out, and nobody to help him. And she said he wouldn't tell her where he was at, and he was just eating out the garbage can. Yeah, guys, this is the lies that he tell. He was eating out of the garbage can, and you know, because he didn't have any money, he was just on the street homeless with a sign, all of this. She felt bad, but he would never tell her where he was at. So I was like, well, listen, the next time you talk to him, tell him to meet you at a certain place at a certain time. We're going to get the police involved. Because mind you, at this point, he had stolen so much stuff from me. I had already made the police reports on each item. Did I get it back? No, never. But you know, the police were looking for him. There was active investigations for him. Now, during this time where he was missing, he was contacting her. The girl, Nini, was still living at home with her parents and her dad. Well, her dad. And she told me, you know, she had texted me one day and she was like, hey, you know, Bob came to my house. He looked horrible. He looked strung out. And he went knocking on my door trying to get in contact with me. And, you know, my dad knew what the situation was. You know, that I was pregnant. He knew that he was on drugs and he was, you know, acting crazy. So my dad came out with a musketool. Y'all know. Came out with one of those and told him to get away from his property. Don't ever come back. So, yeah. Again, he was out in the street, gone. That was the last I heard of her. That was the last I heard of him. Still missing. Now, this was like from, like I said, around November, December. So then, like I said, the police were still looking for him, active investigations, because not only had he stole things from me, he was on, from what the police said, he was on some type of binge. So he was just stealing from whoever he could steal from to get money for his habit. Now, when I called on the last item that he stole, what was it? I don't even remember. What did he steal? I think it was my printer. Yeah, I think he had stolen my printer. I had started noticing things were missing. Mind you, I hadn't spoken to him after my vehicle was stolen, but I had just started noticing things missing. I was like, okay, let me just report this. 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 So at this last time, I had, you know, called the police and filed the report, because you still have to file the report no matter if it's like something that's small or not. They were saying, yeah, we know exactly who you're talking about. We know his name. He's out on a binge right now. He's just stealing from all over the place. We just got a call from him breaking into somebody's hotel room, stealing their laptop. And I'm like, really? They're like, yeah, he's on a binge. So that's what they do when they're on binges. They go around stealing as much as they can, pawning it, getting money for it, and supporting their habit. So I'm like, okay, well, you know, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Is you gonna get him or is you not? Anyway, so time went on. I didn't hear anything from him, nothing from Nini. And it was like dead silence. Now, mind you, I was driving myself crazy because I wanted his behind in jail. I wanted him in jail. Not jail, but jail. I wanted him in jail so bad. So bad, because I still had a butt whipping for him. I still had a butt whipping for him for what he did and for my car, just everything. I was ready to tussle. So I had just been checking. I'm very well versed in looking up cases online. Florida is a state where nothing's private. You can look it up online. You can see everything. That's how I learned about a lot of stuff people have going on, because I look it up on the clerk of courts. You don't want your business in the streets, then you shouldn't do it. Anyway, so I would just check, like he had like about 4 or 5 ongoing charges and cases. Like he was one of them, like I said, with the hotel. He broke in somebody's hotel room, stole their laptop. He had the charges from me. He had charges for I think he walked into like some random like dollar store or something and stole some stuff, some petty theft charge. And he had something else, like just a bunch of just crazy dumb stuff, basically all stealing charges that he would just have pending. So I did, I just kept looking. I'm like, okay, well maybe, they'll catch him and he can go to jail and I could just, sleep at night. I could feel a little bit better, because I still want to get him, because when I'm driving, I'm looking. I see the crackheads on the road and I'm like, is that him? Look like him, shit, like, let me drive over. Yeah, I was that girl. I was looking for him because I really wanted I wanted my piece of the pie, if you know what I mean. This knuckle sandwich pie. Yeah. Anyway, it's funny now. I can laugh now. So I would check, and I had this inkling one day that this is further up in March, just like around March. So after that time with talking to Miss Mimi, Nini, I keep messing up the name. This Nene, I kept checking online every day. So one time I decided to just Google his name. It was in March. I remember it because it was around spring break time. And I'm like, ooh, something's up. I'm like, something's up. My spidey senses, something's up. Something's up. Something's up. Because mind you, my family, my friends, coworkers, and everybody were, you know, they were checking on me like, hey, are you okay? Have you heard anything about what is going on? Do you think he's going to come back and steal your car? Do you think he's going to try to be kidnapped? Like, you know, people were genuinely concerned. So I would be like, no, I'm checking every day, every night, all night, just like a madman. I had black circles under my eyes, y'all, from losing sleep because I just wanted him caught, brought to justice. So I Googled his name this one day. I had my spidey senses went up all day. So I Googled his name. Just put his full name in Google. Pops up with his mugshot. My God, on today. So he was caught. Let's explain. He was caught in Tampa. So I live about 3.5 hours, I would say, away from Tampa. So I remember speaking with Nene, and Nene had been fed up, and she was planning to move to Tampa. She had told me in one of our random conversations that she was thinking about moving to Tampa to start over, you know, get herself back together after dealing with Bob. So apparently he had moved to Tampa with her, and the police, of course, were still actively looking for him because they had several warrants because he had all these charges, and just like I said, he was on this binge. So he got his mugshot up here in the Tampa Times. I don't know, whatever their large newspaper is. He's big, bold picture, and he looks crazy. He like dyed his hair blonde and like a patch of blonde hair here, and it was just not the person I knew. So I look at the headline, and it was something crazy like police went to serve warrant on suspect in Tampa, and suspect hijacks vehicle and hits the police dog. I said, ain't my goodness, how do you hit the police dog? So apparently, I went through the article and read it because first of all, I'm like excited. I'm like, oh, they got him. So I look and I read. So apparently the police had found him. They tracked him down because, mind you, he was still on social media. He still had a cell phone. They were able to track his behind down. So they tracked him down, and they went to go serve him the warrant at the girlfriend's house, Nene. Mind you, don't forget, Nene was pregnant. She just apparently kept the baby, which is good for her. So he opened, I guess they opened the door. They went to serve him the warrant, and he lost his mind. He's like, I'm not going to jail. And I was like, so I'm reading. So this is just me in my mind thinking this is what happened. So he's like, I'm not going to jail. And he just grabs, apparently the girlfriend, Nene, is in the car because they said that he carjacked pregnant girlfriend, drove off to evade the police. In the process of evading the police, he hits a police dog. Now, I don't know if in other states it's the same like it is in Florida, but whenever you do to a police dog, they are considered an actual police officer, a law enforcement officer. So if you get in trouble and you do something to a police dog, it's the equivalent. If you unalive a police dog, you are, if you unalive a police car, you are for sure going to jail because it's going to be considered as a person. So, they for sure arrested him. They finally caught him. I guess he fled the scene, and then he came back and they caught him. So they caught him, and they had like a list of charges. And I tell you guys, no lie, he had like 25 to 30 charges. They were just boom, 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 boom. They were evading the police, hitting the police dog, carjacking a pregnant woman, petty theft here, petty theft. These were all just specifically in Tampa. Mind you, they were the charges they were serving him on and the charges that he got when he did the carjacking of the pregnant girlfriend and the hitting of the police dog. So he had to answer to those charges. And of course, like I said, he had to answer to the charges also that were in our city because he did a lot before he left. So anyways, I can't do no cartwheel. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, can't believe this. I'm sending the article to everybody, my family members, my friends. I'm calling people, telling people like, oh my gosh, can you believe this happened? Can you believe I thought to look him up, and this actually freaking happened. So he went to jail, of course. I, tried to get myself back to normal, if that makes sense. So I kind of pulled back from just checking the court docket every day and this, that, and the other, just because I did not want to, I didn't want to, hold on, let me block somebody right quick, because baby, what you're not gonna do is play with me. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, so I stopped checking, but I checked it momentarily, and then I eventually saw that they gave him like 5 years or so in prison. So he went to prison on those charges, and I think they ended up extraditing him back to our city to get him, the answers to the charges that he had in our city. So he went away to prison, and I was done. I was happy. That was like the end for me. I'm like, I can finally breathe. I can relax. I don't feel like somebody might come out and do something to me. Somebody's gonna be messing with me. Now, mind you, when he up and left, he left all his stuff at my house. He left all his stuff at my house. When I say all his stuff, he had clothes, shoes. He had memorabilia from when he was in, Little League baseball. He had trophies. He had the high school diplomas, pictures, all that. Baby, I was done. So the final hurrah for me was to get that stuff up out my house. Cause baby, I don't want it here. I don't want to hear. We ain't got nothing to talk about. We ain't got nothing. We done. That's it. So I just casually went ahead and threw all his stuff out in the dumpster. It took me like because at that time I was staying in a condo on the 5th floor, and the dumpster was all the way downstairs. I couldn't put it in like the regular trash because it was like a chute. I needed like to haul trash. So I took my time. I gathered everything and I got it out of my house. I was just finally relieved. And I was like, oh, the end of the saga. It's over. It wasn't over. It wasn't over. So I started getting random phone calls from random numbers. And I should be smart enough to know to stop answering these random calls because it's usually some BS. Trust me, I know it now. I answer these calls, and these calls are from his friends, homies, whoever, and they're reaching out to me, and they're three-way calling him from jail because he's contacting me. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know why he's calling me. What do you want? So one day I finally, because I would answer the phone and I'm like, it would say like, it would be him. It wouldn't be like a regular, like automated whatever, because it's a three-way calling. So I answer the phone like, what? Hello? Oh, boop. Hello? Boop. Hello? Again, stupid and dumb, because why am I answering the phone? Answered it one day, I just went off on it. I'm like, what do you want? Why are you calling me? You got your child to be worried about. You got your woman. That's not my girlfriend. That's not my woman. That's the mother of my child. I don't care. Bye-bye. Don't call me no more. We're done. Don't call me. I don't got nothing to say. Goodbye. Go. Curtain closed. Mind you, he would have these friends, since I wouldn't talk to them anymore, he'd have these friends text me. Basically, he wanted his stuff. What he was going to do with his high school diploma, his Little League trophy, basketball trophies, pictures. Girl, I don't know, because he was in the jailhouse. What was you going to do with all this? Mind you, I threw it out. So I told him, I was like, listen, tell him to stop calling me. I don't have his things. His things are in the trash. I threw them out in the dumpster a long time ago. I am done. I moved on with my life. Bye-bye. See you later. So after that, after a couple of times of telling them that, I was able to, I wouldn't get any more phone calls, wouldn't get anything else. And of course, my spidey senses go off a couple years after. I think that was 2020. It was 2020, March 2020. So I remember March 2020 because that was around the COVID time. So I get these spidey senses again. Mind you, at this point, he had been in the jail he had been in prison for like, I don't know, some years, 4 or 5. I don't know. I stopped counting. I had moved on. Was in another relationship. It was a whole nother, life. It was a whole new world. Yeah, done. So I got this inkling to go ahead and let me Google. First of all, let me check the website to see when his release date is, because I don't know. I still don't trust him. I still don't know what's going on. So I checked his release date, and apparently he had been released from jail. Like from that time that I checked it, he had been released like maybe 2 or 3 months beforehand. So I'm like, oh boy, okay, well hopefully I don't have no problems. If I see him on the street, we got the muscatel. We gonna handle, we're good. But I just needed that in my mind, I guess from PTSD, we can call it. So I'm like, okay, I just know where I'm at. Mind you, no calls, no texts, nothing of anything of that sort from him. But just had in the back of my mind, like, hey, he's out. We don't know where he at. Might be down to the Holiday Heart crack house. Who knows? But just keep that in the back of your mind. So spidey senses go up again a couple months after. I think it was like 3 months after that. Spidey senses go up. Say, you should just Google him. See if he's in jail again. See if he's out here doing stuff again. You just need to know. You just never know. I watch a lot of TV, y'all. Like Lifetime type stuff. Yeah. This is a Lifetime situation, but this is like a Lifetime movie in my head. So I'm like, let me just check just in case. So I Google his name and no, at first I Googled his Facebook. I looked at his Facebook page. And I looked at his Facebook page. Now, y'all finna clutch y'all pearls for this. Y'all finna clutch y'all pearls, and this is not a laughing matter. Y'all finna clutch y'all pearls. Because I clutched mine a little bit, tiny bit, small bit. So I go on his Facebook, one of his many Facebook pages that I had blocked. Y'all tell me why they got a GoFundMe account on there. A GoFundMe account. I'm like, what? A GoFundMe? What's the GoFundMe for? So me being nosy, I click on it and I see Nene created a GoFundMe account because Bob passed away. Bob was deceased. There was a GoFundMe account to get money for services, final arrangements, I guess, and for his daughter that, of course, Nene had. So yeah, he passed away. So I go down, scroll through, doing a little bit more research on his Facebook page, and I see, people on there saying rest in peace, can't believe this happened. I just talked, the typical social media, salutations, condolences. And so then I Googled him because a lot of times if you Google a person's name after they passed away, a lot of times if they're with a funeral home, they'll have all the information up because I'm curious like what happened. Now, was I sad? I was more shocked. I wasn't happy. I would never just be happy that someone passed away. That's just no. I wasn't happy. I was shocked because I'm like, are you serious? Like, he really passed away? We were the same age. Like, what? And I'm just like, all these random things going through my head, but I'm not like emotional or anything. I'm not, like I said, I'm not happy. I'm not sad. It was just the weirdest feeling. So I Googled him and I saw a name, a funeral home name on there. And apparently it was like, it was very vague. It just said his birthday, day he passed away. Didn't have any additional information. No comments on the bottom. It was very just blank. Didn't even really have a picture, but I know that was his name because I put his first, last, middle, all that. Even his suffix. That was definitely him with the date of birth. Still to this day, don't know what happened. I never reached out to Nene or his dad. I had his dad's number. Never reached out to either one of them. I just checked like his Facebook page every so often just to see if maybe somebody put something on there like, dang, man, maybe, COVID is, horrible or man, dang, substance abuse is horrible. Get help. Like I was just seeing if I could get like an inkling to figure out exactly what happened. And to this day, about 3 years later, I don't know. I don't want to say I don't care, but I don't. That chapter is closed. That chapter is done. I don't know. I don't really have a feeling I don't have a word to describe it. I don't really have I'm not sad. I'm not happy. I'm curious as to what happened. I mean, somebody did lose they're unalived. And I just have, question marks like what happened? Did he OD? Was it COVID? Did he try to rob somebody and something happened? Was it the fent? That a lot of that's going around. I don't know. So I don't know what happened. I was just speechless like I am now. I'm just like, I don't know. I just know that he's gone. Like I said, it's all over his Facebook page. So I know that definitely was him. And, his many Facebook pages. And I never really checked. Like I said, I didn't really need to check with anybody and ask. I just know that he's gone. It was the end of the saga. A lot went on mentally, not physically, mentally. It was mostly mentally, emotional. with me. I could say I'm past it now. I'm in a whole other different place in life. I'm a parent now. Like I have way more, you know, pressing things on my mind. I'm just curious as to what happened. But yeah, I don't know. Nobody knows, and I don't think I'll ever reach out to find out what happened. I just know my story, and I'm gonna tell my story, and my story is my story. Nobody can tell me different. Nobody can make me feel bad or make me feel good about it. It's just my story. So that's that. That's the end of this series. That's the story. I'm done with it. This was the end. This is the final chapter. I'm, like I said, I'm in a different place. I'm in a great place right now, mentally, physically, emotionally. That whole situation is still, you know, in my mind, way back, but it doesn't affect me anymore. It's just kind of like the end. It's the end. Books closed. I moved on, and I just was like, yeah, let me go ahead and get this done, get this story out here, and be done with it for good. That's that. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. I know it could be a little bit of a triggering issue for some people, but I want to tell my story. I told my story. I hope it can help some people if they see some red flags. If you see red flags, run. If you see red flags, run. If you see a yellow flag, run. And all you want to see is green light. Give you the green light. But yeah, I appreciate you guys so much for watching, keeping up with the series. Drop some comments down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I'm an open book. I'll tell you. Other than that, I appreciate you. I thank you for watching. I appreciate the support. And until next time, guys, bye-bye. I love you, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.